In 2019, we decided to run a Rain Gardens challenge to try and stimulate public and professional interest in sustainable drainage. We envisaged 4 ways to try and do that. We looked with dismay at the failed car park soakaways at Kinross Park and Ride, degraded surface, broken fences, flooded muddy parking bays. However, further along the link road from there to our local commercial and industrial estate was a string of road edge wildflower swales. They looked fantastic. Oxeye daisies and rag robin, with bees and hoverflies buzzing all around them. Running parallel to the swales are commercial premises, also drained by swales, but deeper soil and quite different flora. One of them is a willow swale, with trees extending up an adjoining embankment to create a woodland feature. Both sets of swales drain into a remarkable stormwater wetland, an enhanced extended detention basin that we refer to as the Church View wetland. In consultation with Sparks, our local disability support group, we plan to create a wheelchair rest point and turning area at the Church View. Paths then continue down alongside a floodwater storage area, with one route going back up to ultimately return to the park and ride, and the other eventually joining Loch Leven Heritage Trail. We have commissioned visualisations of the improvements that we want. This is what we call the Rain Gardens Trail, an exemplar set of features embodying SuDS of various kinds as an integral part of the town. Our achievements with retrofits included a small-scale raised bed garden at the local primary, a rural car park retrofit in a constrained space where erosion was an issue, but our most ambitious retrofit has been the park and ride in Kinross, now the head of the Rain Gardens Trail. As well as the socially distant strolls for exercise during lockdown, to keep the project moving forward, we have consulted locals during the project by publications in a local monthly newsletter and published feature articles in local Kinross newsletter and 3 national blogs.
Arrived in this box about 5 years ago. We were very fortunate that Perth and Kinross Council had the foresight to make a willow swale. We didn't realise very much about it until Brian Darcy and his team of volunteers explained the nature of the willow swale. We're absolutely delighted to get some help from them and advice on keeping it, and the children and families of Dance Connect are really pleased to be part of the challenge.
Our future plans include looking at a number of industrial premises in South Kinross, looking at adjacent council areas, and looking at more retrofits. Thank you to all those involved with the Rain Garden Challenge.
My name is Habib Khan. I'm one of the founders and a director at Meristem Design. Meristem Design is an award-winning urban landscape design company on a mission to turn the urban grey green. The project we submitted for this award is our community rain gardens. A lot of our community rain gardens are carried out with the local community and the local school.
Hi, I'm Tom. I live in this street. These are our amazing community gardens. Before last September, it was just a muddy puddle and concrete, and look how much it's been transformed now into beautiful gardens full of wildlife. Local residents love it. We spend lots of time here. We look after it as a community group. Soak up lots of water when it rains heavily, and make our community more resilient and beautiful. And yeah, hopefully we get lots more of these in the future.
This project also allows us to educate the school children on the importance of plants, biodiversity and nature, and helping to protect the environment. Rain gardens obviously act as a barrier to flooding. They collect rainwater and they absorb it into the SuDS system beneath them, but it also allows us to create a pocket park at the end of each street. And at the end of it, they are maintained and looked after the community or the school where we've installed them. So that's a really nice tie-in. Our planting schemes incorporate plants that we know will attract pollinating insects. We've installed over 200 rain gardens last year in London alone, including 50 in the London Borough of Waltham Forest, as well as one of the UK's largest single rain garden, which stretches almost 1,000 linear metres across a dedicated cycle lane. We're also working with over 100 schools to provide SuD features. We believe if every major city would adopt this template, it would seriously reduce the amount of rainwater flooding, not just in the town centres, but also on rivers and communities where the rivers burst due to the extent of rainfall in the cities.
Just 2 years ago, this was an incidental bit of green open space used by a few dog walkers and not much else. But we started a project to look at how this could be used in a different way, an experimental way to help deal with flooding issues that we had on the road behind us.
So the partnership came together to deliver the scheme, and what we thought was really important, that as well as providing benefits for water and for wildlife, this was also going to provide a benefit for the local people and an educational resource for local schools.
So we got together with partners, so Salford City Council, City of Trees, Environment Agency and Natural Cause, United Utilities, to work out how we could use this space in a more natural environment to deal with some of these issues that we've got on site.
And we've also been working with the University of Salford, and the students there have helped us develop a monitoring strategy for the scheme that we hope will allow us to replicate schemes like this elsewhere in Salford. Rainwater off the road is intercepted by these beanie blocks that we've replaced the curbing with, and from there it's piped underneath the pavement into the swales on the other side. Rainwater from the road surface that's intercepted by the beanie blocks, piped under the pavement, and emerges from this pipe here and enters this vegetated swale, goes beneath this bridge, and makes its way along here to the first check dam to take the velocity out of the flow, and then it passes forward into a broadened out wetland feature.
So it's managed by Salford City Council, and we have lots of input from local people who actually help litter pick and help manage it. So in the autumn we will actually be putting back this beautiful wildflower meadow after it's all flowered, and that ensures that the swales and the pathways are all clear for the water to flow down. And then next spring the wildflowers will start to develop again and create this lovely wildflower meadow. But it's definitely about experimenting and actually seeing what works. So we have seen a remarkable reduction in flooding on the road, which is obviously a positive element. We've seen lots of people enjoying this space, coming here who've never been here before, and actually we've got a fantastic wildflower meadow, which is a great benefit for wildlife and for actually just brightening up our urban environment.
Bloc is part of our £50 million Pioneer investment. The idea is that we're embedding 6 key pillars into our design, and part of that is sustainability and biodiversity, and we thought that because of those 2 key pillars, the blue-green roof would fit perfectly.
The idea of this is to set the principle that Bruntwood and United Utilities could look at this roof to see how successfully it's running, they have the data, and then also with the Manchester Council is to actually influence future development to use these types of systems as a way of adaptation to climate change.
So what's been installed today is the Permavoid squared system with passive irrigation cones. Permavoid's ideal because it's a shallow attenuation system, so load on any roof is a very critical thing. With a retrofit roof, your parameters are set, so we have what we have in terms of the roof's ability to handle the load of the water that it will have on here and the substrate itself. The beauty of a blue-green roof is you don't need a lot of outlets. The whole aim is to reduce the amount of outlets you have.
So today it's a really busy day today. We're laying the wildflower mats that's been grown at a site in Sheffield. This has been cultivated for about 12 months. Blue-green roof like this can also help improve the biodiversity of the area, where before there was nothing. We've now created a meadow in essence in the middle of a city, and this is going to help pollinators, bees, butterflies, even birds actually have a small habitat where they can go get food, maybe even nest. We've got a real mixture of loads of different plants. So we've got wild yarrow here with the lovely white flower, and you can see the bees and butterflies are loving it already.
So why the polysync system is so smart is the fact that this level data feeds straight into the Kista's cloud. This live sensor data is then connected to the weather data. This is then fed into an optimization, and in that optimization we're working out how much water should be in this tank based off the rules set. We want to capture any kind of heavy rainfall events, hold that water up and basically reuse it when we get droughts.
To see the transformation is amazing today, because when we came it was just another roof space. It was just very grey, not a lot there. It was just a space, quite frankly. But now when you go up today and you see the transformation, it's no longer a space, it's a place. You know, it's something that's beautifully biodiverse. It's something where people can go and enjoy the health and well-being benefits as well that blue-green infrastructure provide. You only have to look at what's happening now in Greater Manchester. You see there's an awful lot of building works going on, so it feels like a fantastic opportunity.
Flood risk in the southwest of England is pretty prominent, sort of the natural topography, the sort of rainfall totals we get. We've already got a problem which we're trying to resolve, and yeah, with the impacts of climate change it's only going to get worse with time, unfortunately, so we're trying to get ahead of the game.
So originally we were thinking of an earth embankment, a bog standard scheme, but we thought we could do something more impressive than that.
This here, I mean, is unbelievable, and it was the brainchild of I think a gentleman from Jacobs who actually came up with the amphitheatre idea.
Yeah, so obviously where we've got flood defence projects, it's quite common just to see a flood defence wall or some kind of hard infrastructure being constructed. Obviously that kind of solution does exactly what it says on the tin. It's going to defend properties from flooding, but quite often for the other 364 days a year, it's stood there vacant, not doing anything and has no other use. So the real benefit of dual use is that it provides more than one potential benefit. It's not just protecting properties from flooding, it's providing an amphitheatre for the town to have its performance event space. Okay, so yeah, basically the way the project's worked, it's designed to capture the flows that come down Station Road as a sheet flow. So most highways drainage is kept shallow by its nature and it sheds to the edge of the road. But due to the steepness of the hill here on Station Road, it's going to be a sheet flow across the full width of the carriageway. And we're going to intercept those sheet flows with these cross drains that run the full width of the carriageway. Once the water's into those cross drains, it's going to pass beneath this wall that we can see in front of us here, under the grass verge, under the pathway, and then head on into the site through this flow control chamber here. So this flow control chamber has a special pollution control valve which we can access from the surface so that people don't have to go down into the chamber should there ever be any kind of pollution or spill on the highway. It also is there for the maintenance, so that if there's any jetting or dirt or silt being pushed back through the cross drains and into this chamber, we can then capture that and remove that safely without it going down into the amphitheatre itself. From this central chamber here, we're then going to head over that way underground in a 500mm diameter pipe to another chamber before it then gets redirected and heads down towards the amphitheatre.
I think it's going to bring flood risk issues to the forefront a bit more, because people will see this and wonder what it is and make them think about the flood risk issues.
I hope this will be an inspiration, not only for the likes of drainage engineers, but also people who are thinking of how public spaces should be planned and delivered in the future. A dual use approach should just be taken forwards for the future of our cities and our towns.